As you can see here, we got a nice chunk of feces, you know, and so first you have to smell it. Smells right. And now I gotta just give it a taste to get the impression, see what it's all about. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Scuffed Logan Paul, and welcome to Bootleg Content Cop. Ethan Klein has done a lot for the YouTube community, and his main channel videos are pretty funny. So why am I making this video? Because he's a hypocrite, and because he can't take criticism. This whole story started with Ethan taking one big risk.
Most of you guys probably know Leafy is here, a popular YouTuber who's been blowing up big time. I'm actually friends with these guys, so it's awkward and it's uncomfortable. But for some reason, we as a community have been giving these guys a pass. And I mean, if you look at Leafy's channel, all he does is make fun of kids and like vulnerable people. No, there's no sport in making fun of these people. It's just sad. It's stupid, honestly, that we've all gone this long giving these channels a pass who are cancerous. I'm serious.
So Ethan calls out Leafy for bullying kids and bullying disadvantaged people in his videos, and you know, I'm not upset about that. That's not the issue here. The issue is this.
And like, look, me and Leafy are friends, you know?
You're friends with this guy?
Me and Leafy are friends.
Alright, so you're friends with him. So how exactly did you get to this point? Like, actually, I'll let you play along at home. What do you think? Did Ethan, A, discuss the video with Leafy prior to uploading it? B, upload it with no warning whatsoever? Or B, because the answer is B. Alright, so right off the bat, that establishes that Ethan's goal in this was not to stop Leafy from bullying kids. It was to stir the pot, to get some drama going, to come out as the hero. And I'm fine with that. You can do that. I love stirring the pot. However, you made one crucial little error.
I really just want to see his channel die out. I fucking hate him and his channel. Don't give Pyro a platform to defend himself.
Me and Leafy are friends, you know?
Oh shit, we're friends! I mean, that's terrific, man. I mean, I should have known since you literally were sucking my dick about my channel about a month ago. Happy for you blowing up. You got a unique style and personality, man. You worked hard to get where you are, and you deserve it. It just pisses me off to see Pyro writing yours to undeserved success.
This was the first time that we got a good look at the true, jealous, manipulative side of H3H3, or Ethan. He's straight up calling Pyrocynical a psychopath, cancer, no goofs, no gaffes. This is his honest, unfiltered opinion between two peers in the same platform.
But recently, I've actually had a lot of private messages sent to me of H3 giving me a lot of shit, saying how my channel is cancer, saying how I'm completely unoriginal, and I'm a total sociopath.
Now, Pyro, being a level-headed and self-aware guy, came out on this position on top. Do you know why? Because he knows how to handle criticism. He knows how to deflect it. He's smart.
Now, even though Ethan said all this shit about me, and I'm pretty sure he'd kill me if he saw me in real life, I'm gonna respect his privacy and not show any of these messages. Except that one, because it's genuinely funny.
But what happens when the peasant calls out the saint himself? Does H3 Productions go to him and say, "You are cancer, motherfucker, I said it here, and I'm gonna say it now, you're cancer"? No, dude. Guess what he does? He fucking lies! He tweets out saying, "Why you straight lying, dog?"
Oh, okay, so here it was also revealed that Ethan directly lied in a tweet to Pyro. When Pyro had some suspicions that Ethan was conspiring against him with other YouTubers, Ethan immediately said, "No, dude, why are you spreading lies?" Ironic.
Can you just find, like, someone to pick on your own size? Like, I mean, seriously, dude. What's going on? You're just picking on kids. What's cool about it? Clean cut? I wouldn't exactly call it clean cut. He's got the hair of a fucking 60-year-old dude with a goddamn shitty toupee.
So Ethan was recruiting a army of small channels to basically try and conspire against Pyrocynical. You know, like, wow. Instead of doing a video yourself, you decided to gather a bunch of cronies and get them to do the dirty work. Slowly get them to try and topple this guy. Well, I mean, that sure blew up in your face.
But what does the saint known as H3 Productions do after he's been caught lying? He fucking licks Pyrocynical's asshole, dude! Look at this shit!
Now, after this whole debacle, Ethan immediately went into damage control. He professed his love to Pyrocynical. He said Leafy was a scumbag for releasing his DMs, and, you know, that was basically the half-assed apology that we got. You know, in retrospect, I can't even imagine how gleeful you must have been when that content cop was released. Well, wait a minute. You helped iDubbbz create some of the points for that video. Well, look at that, Ethan. You ended up getting what you wanted. You got to bash somebody through the mouth of another. Okay, so Ethan, let's be clear. You weren't really friends with Leafy. You talked in the DMs, you bashed Pyro together, but really you weren't friends. So already we know your definition of friendship is a little bit loose. JonTron, however, is undeniably a good friend of yours. I won't even deny that myself.
John's the reason we came out to New York. He gave Eli a job producing when we were pieces of shit. We had no prospects, no money, no job. John said, "I'm gonna take care of you, kid. I'm gonna give you guys work. I'm gonna give you guys purpose." He brought us out here.
So when JonTron gets in trouble for the debate with Destiny, where he said some controversial things, you kept quiet about it. I mean, you make it clear that you disagree with what he said, but you know, you stay silent pretty well. You know, you don't discuss it publicly, which is okay. That's a perfectly fine response. You know, he loses if he supports John, because the public opinion at the time is that JonTron is an alt-right idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's a fine reaction to have. It's smart. Okay, just keep that situation in the back of your head for a bit. Now, around the same time, PewDiePie gets in trouble for some bullshit, complete, horse shit. And Ethan, you vehemently support PewDiePie, and you should, because you're his friend. And because he's right, but also because you're his friend. You should always support your friends when they have more subs than you and public opinion is on your side.
It's a joke. He's not serious. There's a big difference, guys. Context matters. As a Jewish person, I'm not offended.
Flash forward. PewDiePie's in hot water, man. He said the N-word.
Yeah, he dropped the N-bomb, and he dropped it pretty hard. It was more of just like a Hiroshima. I mean, it's pretty much worst case scenario. When they drop nuclear bombs and the people out on the street have like shadows left over imprinted on the sidewalk. It's like that.
Get off your high horse, you pompous fucking prick! Oh my god!
I don't think Felix is a racist person, but god damn, he really kind of just was really comfortable using that word. That really just kind of... I love that I can just say nigger faggot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he really just dropped the N-bomb, like, straight up. And the way he used it was just awful. Nigger, faggot, whore. It's just a wonderful string of words that really gets you going. We say offensive things privately when we're joking with our friends because we all find it funny for one reason or other. But goddamn, Doug, you're freaking live streaming.
I feel like you're using it a little liberally.
I love saying nigger faggot. It's so wonderful. Yeah. So
now you're gonna get shit for it. There's no excuses this time.
I can't defend him. It's completely indefensible this time.
Yeah.
What a fucking nigger.
Ethan, why'd you do this? Because it's a hot topic, and you want the public to know that your views are rock solid. Do you know why I know this? It's because you're a disingenuous, opportunistic person who is not afraid to ride the wave of hate, so long as it stays away from you. But it didn't. You got called out for this one, big time. Because people saw you got a little too cocky. You got a little too confident.
H3H3 uploaded this podcast to YouTube, and it has over
28,000 dislikes on his most recent podcast. Almost more dislikes than likes on this thing.
They think that Ethan, H3H3, is being a hypocrite because on his podcast, he said the N-word too!
So I'm sure H3H3 will clear this up in his next podcast. Definitely no hate to H3H3 or anything like that. He's a great dude, and I know he'll come back from this, obviously, right? I think he's just gonna have to explain it more.
You're right, Johnny boy. Papa Ethan can do no wrong. He'll explain this all away. He'll make us understand.
We can be friends, and you can still criticize me.
Yeah.
But you have Keemstar and Scarce who are like, H3's a hypocrite because he said nigger on his podcast. You call yourself a news source, get fucking real. I have nothing to apologize for. And somehow now I'm getting more shit than PewDiePie. H3's a hypocrite. I didn't watch the podcast, but this guy says he's a hypocrite, and I didn't have any content today, so I'm going to post a video, and I don't really care about what it actually means. I'm news, but I don't actually look at things beyond surface value. I'm Keemstar. I make news for 12-year-olds. Keemstar and Scarce made these plebeian videos without even watching my podcast.
Yes! Oh, we got ciggies, we got beers, we got the boys. What more could you ask for? The pinnacle of moral authority.
And to Keemstar and to Scarce, shame on you. You're my peers. You take yourself seriously. You made a fucking joke of yourself. I have no respect for either of you. You know what? If you think I'm wrong, if you think that I'm a racist and a hypocrite, if you didn't bother to watch the podcast and you downvoted and you left a mean comment and you called me a hypocrite, fuck off.
Unsubscribe. Yeah,
don't watch. Don't watch.
Because we'll have a lot less of that shit to deal with in the future.
Enjoy Keemstar, the pinnacle of logic and sanity on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go enjoy his fucking show.
Bye-bye.
Where everything he says is well researched and rational and reasoned. Keemstar.
We'll see you in a month.
The fucking
when you resubscribe.
Guy that looks like
you dumb bitches.
Yeah.
You know Jax Films did not want to be there because he knows how the internet works very well. Time to have a mental breakdown on live stream.
Oh, Ethan's a hypocrite. Fuck off. That unsubscribe button is right down there. Click it. And go subscribe to Keemstar, hit that bell, and enjoy the ride. And in 3 years, when you grow up, come back here, because I'll be waiting. The H3 production has always been about logical. We break it down, and we think about it. That's why the social justice warrior criticism comes in. You're going to tell me, who's been making fun and lambasting and discrediting these people for years, that I don't have this right?
Ooh, that's a big yikes from me, man.
Fuck off.
Right.
Listen to the fucking podcast. Keemstar's your source of factual information. Disconnect your internet, dude. Fuck up. I am not sorry. Think for yourself. That's what this is all about. Oh, Keemstar's the pinnacle of free thought. Drama alert. Welcome to the stroke victim nation. What a fucking
Over
loser.
Here. You're watching actual professional comedians with their hot takes.
This is a fucking nearly 40-year-old man who thrives on making videos about Jake Paul. Let's turn to him for the news. Fuck off. I'm pissed off, dude. And I got nothing to apologize for.
Am I saying that you're being a hypocrite? No, I am not. I am saying that people are mad at you and they're disliking your podcast because they are claiming that you are a hypocrite. I call myself a news source because I report the news. And this is the news. People are calling you a hypocrite.
This is a fucking nearly 40-year-old man who thrives on making videos about Jake Paul.
Oh my god, bro. Dude, this is your channel, dude. Jake Paul, Jake Paul, Jake Paul, Jake Paul, Jake Paul.
Like, according to the internet, you're 32 years old, I'm 35. You're only 3 years younger than me, Ethan.
Your whole channel is making fun of people and criticizing people, and when you're criticized, what do? Blame somebody else.
Basically, you said anybody criticizing you and calling you a hypocrite is a 12-year-old. So you could delegitimize anybody's argument. Oh, they're just little kids. I'm right and they're wrong because they're little kids. And then you try to manipulate even more by saying, the only reason why I'm getting hate is because Scarce and Keemstar. And then you use a leafy line, Keemstar's just a 40-year-old who makes Jake Paul videos. Apologize. Admit that you're wrong. But you guys won't do that, will you? Because you're better than everyone else. You're never wrong.
Now, guess what happened on the next H3 podcast?
I think the only thing I really want to apologize for is that drunken rant. And, about the context hypocritical thing, I don't think I'm a hypocrite. Most of the people who were upset about it probably didn't watch the whole episode. Because the harshest criticism I landed against PewDiePie was that I was disappointed.
Hey, Future Chris here, real quick. I need to clarify and make very clear the point I'm trying to make here. Ethan, the issue here was not that what you were saying was wrong. It's that you were the wrong person to be saying it. You emphasize heavily that he was live streaming when he said it, and that he sounded like he was very comfortable using it. And then there's footage, man, of you being super comfortable saying it on a live stream multiple times. You had to have forgotten that clip existed. Otherwise, you'd be a complete idiot for saying that at all. Just think about it this way. Why do you think iDubbbz did not say anything? Because he's smart. He knows he's the wrong person to be saying anything about the situation. He needs to stay silent. Whereas you just wanted to use it as a fresh scoop for the podcast, and it worked. You got the clickbait, you got the views, but people realized you were a hypocrite. It's like if Bill Clinton called out Donald Trump for being a sexual deviant. Your point is just immediately invalidated, even if it's right. Plus, you even pathetically tried to bring iDubbbz into the mix and say that you would understand if people criticized him.
And first of all, I understand people who would criticize iDubbbz and say that's fucked up the way you use it.
So basically, you're admitting that you would understand if people criticized you, but you don't. Because you're a hypocrite, and in your mind, nothing that you do is wrong. You can't take criticism. Anyway, back to old Chris. Going to see an old friend. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Okay.
Bitch, lasagna. Bitch, lasagna. T-Series ain't nothing but a bitch, lasagna.
Alright, so I heard you fucking got some weapons. Trying to take a look.
Oh, I got this machete, but that's mine.
Yeah, okay.
But
fair.
I've got this, it works for what it's for, but it tastes better than what it's used for.
Holy fuck. Is it loaded?
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking liar. You want it? I know you want it.
I fucking want it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, it's nice, eh?
Yeah, how much?
It's 500.
Did you do 3?
I'll do 3, but you got my stuff?
Yeah. Boneless or fucking deep fried? What are you feeling?
Oh, definitely boneless. I've had a hard week.
Alright, fuck. 300 boneless memes. Think you can handle that shit?
Oh, I can more than handle. I need that.
Yeah.
So whatever stops the shaking. Never mind, there's flies in here.
You want any fucking Demi Lovato overdose memes, dude? I got fucking extra. They died real quick.
It's a dead meme.
Alright, I sent the memes. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Thank you. So why do you want that?
Honestly, man, I'm gonna kill H3 Productions.
Why? the perpetual good guy of you two. Why would you do such a thing? What a fucking
What are you still doing here, man? I gave you 3 months to move out, you're still here.
Just fucking chill, man. I just work here.
So?
Do you wanna buy a gun?
Yo, do you know where my brother is?
Oh shit, I forgot I had him. It's actually in my closet if you want to see him.
Okay.
I keep people in my closet.
Here he is.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Nick. Why'd you put a fucking bag over his head?
I can't tell him where he is.
I guess that's fair. Alright, Nick, I'll be back for you in a bit, okay?
Okay.
I'll see you Monday.
It'll cost you.
Oh, okay, fine.
Fucking
Nick, where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere.
Remember how we talked about JonTron? Yeah, well, a whole 8 months after he lost his sponsorships and, you know, he was basically ridiculed off the internet. Well, you had him on your podcast.
Oh, you've always been an incredibly generous and gracious friend to us.
Thanks,
and I genuinely love this guy.
And we
same to
miss
you.
you.
I know, I miss you
haven't seen
too.
you in so long.
It's been too long. Now that I'm officially, guest number 600,005.
31.
Not that many.
Not that deep.
Just kidding.
Did you see that reaction? Like, that signals to me that JonTron wasn't really welcome on the podcast until the dust had blown over completely.
You can go to represent.com/JonTron. I think that's the link, but it's on represent.com.
Represent.com/JonTron.
Actually,
that should take you there.
Sorry. I never did like merch before, really.
So we have a
they're
call number.
linking in the chat to your store.
Oh, they're linking in the chat. Great.
No, cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You had an infamous debate.
Holy shit! So after 8.5 months, and after everybody's basically forgot about it, now you give JonTron a platform to defend himself? Well, I mean, you know, if you and John agreed to do this beforehand for him to discuss it, then that makes sense. That's fine.
It happened. How long ago was that now?
I don't keep track. I don't know. It was like a year or so.
I don't remember. Wow, has it been that long?
Yeah, like 9 months or something.
So if you're uncomfortable with anything, like, you don't have to comment at all. Like,
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and say and qualify it or anything. All I'm saying is that, I'm not really going to get into it. But I guess the main question on everyone's mind is, is he a racist? Is he a Nazi?
Mm-hmm.
No, I treat every single person with the same respect they afford me. That's basically my full statement.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you feel like you said some things that you regret?
Yeah, I don't like reliving it. No, I don't.
Did you have a lot of self-aware moments during that?
Of course, the whole time.
You're just like,
I was like, I should not be here.
I was wondering that. I saw you doing that.
I'm not the
John,
person.
No.
I was like, I'm not the person to fight this battle.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let me just say for the record, like, that I disagree with a lot of the stuff you said.
I really don't want to get into this. I would like to move on as quickly as possible because I just really don't want to get into this. I just want to make people laugh. That's really, I'm not trying to get back into this. I just treat people with the same respect they give me at the end.
Right.
Don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It's just, that's me. Don't want to get into it past that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Is that fair enough for you?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
I kind of want to ask you, tell me if you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, Ethan, I don't think he wants to talk about it.
But I wanted to ask you stuff that I find interesting.
People still want me to do comedy, so
clearly, yeah. I mean,
I've just continued down that path, and I don't really feel like dredging it up because it's pointless.
Yeah.
Not going to get anything else out of me from it. Not you.
Yeah.
Just like there's nothing. I have nothing to say.
I'm just more interested in like the journey you had of like you went through it. It was something that sucked, obviously, and a lot of times passed, and like you feel like you've learned a lot from it, or you're in a better place now. From
certainly learned. I've definitely learned, like, one of the biggest things I've learned is just how to have restraint.
And you were in an emotional state at the time.
Yeah, it was in an emotional state. And I'll tell you one thing.
Not defending, by the way, I just want to say for the record, I'm not defending what you said. I just state, again, for the record, I disagree with a lot of the shit you said. But that's fine. Like,
but
it's
we
okay.
can still be friends.
Yeah, I'm not going to be
we
like...
We can still talk about it.
That's part of the problem is that people were like, I can't believe that you're still friends with John. And I'm like, why? He's the same person. Like, I love him. He's a good friend of mine. Like, we can talk about this stuff amongst each other and try to find a common ground, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's way better to have a conversation and try to understand each other. Otherwise, you just end up with these segregated groups, people who hate each other.
Yeah.
Like, you really expect me to just be like, fuck off. Oh, Ethan's a hypocrite. Fuck off. You said something that I disagree with, and I can't talk to you anymore.
That nobody's talking about it on Twitter. He doesn't pick a side, so you unfollow him?
Like, that's how sick is that?
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to get into this too much. It's something that I'm just focused on comedy now.
That's totally fair. I understand.
Which, by the way, you're doing very good.
Thank you,
Because
Hila.
your last
You guys
videos
too.
were really good.
Thanks so much.
Like, what was this? Like, yeah, and I noticed you. I mean, you.
And he keeps going. My God, how does he do it, man? You know, and it just keeps getting worse. Immediately after this, he segues into talking about his depression. He makes it about himself.
You know, the audience doesn't think about this. They just see the fun.
No, totally, and it's frustrating. Anyway, it's a conversation for another time. But
Yeah, no, I don't want to probe too deep.
I'm just
here.
thinking about it. It's fine.
Dude, you're gonna come out on top, I guarantee.
I want to talk about it, but I need to think about it a lot
Yeah,
more.
when I saw this podcast, it made me realize that Ethan is the Iago of YouTube. He isn't friends with you unless he has something to gain. You know, maybe he's friends like Leafy friend, you know? Like that kind of friendship. But unless you have something directly to benefit him, you're not friends. Like, seriously, notice how everybody who he openly claims to be his friends, all the friends he includes in his videos are wildly more successful than him. It's because he's opportunistic by nature. I don't even know that I should blame him, but I will, because he is. I mean, I genuinely don't think he has ever collabed with a smaller YouTuber. You know, take that how you will. He has no obligation to, but it says something, considering how many friends he has in the community. But sure, he'll have John on the podcast after not talking to him for 8 months. But we all know why that is. Because he wanted the fresh scoop. He wanted the juicy details. He wanted JonTron to explain to everybody how he got those fucked up ideas in his head. And this is classic. I mean, this is not a one-off situation. Watch the podcast for so long and you'll definitely notice something. You might not notice it directly, but anytime Ethan feels he's superior to a guest, he makes it blatantly obvious. One of the worst occasions of this is the episode with Jimmy Lee. Now, I'm going to try and make this brief, but if you do watch this podcast episode, it is insane the amount of disrespect that Ethan displays for this old man. He opens the podcast by basically bashing him and discrediting him as a comedian.
His comedy style is essentially roasting people he's never met before. I mean, Jimmy emails me very frequently. He pretty much emails me like 5 times a day. We're best friends. He emails Hila too.
Except I ended up blocking him. I gotta keep my inbox clean, you know?
It wasn't personal.
I gotta see.
But I endured it because I'm like, Jimmy's a legend. I mean, the guy's a legend. So, and Jimmy, he's a legend.
Then, after talking shit about him, he welcomes him onto the podcast.
Jimmy Lee, welcome, the legend.
The guest actually reveals himself to be kind of, a decent guy, and everything's going kind of okay until...
But they create an effect.
Got it.
And an illusion is really what it is.
Right.
So it's a marketing tool.
Is it possible? Are you gonna be there the whole time? It's a little hard for me to focus on...
Are you filming?
Are you filming?
We have 3 cameras in here, Jimmy.
I mean, I don't mind the guy here, but it's hard for me to focus on you when
Get out, dude.
Oh, can
No,
he
I'm
stay
kidding.
and do stills? Or no?
Not really.
No.
This
Okay,
one is,
okay. We'll do the stills
Thanks,
off.
dude.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Well.
And for some reason, this interaction gives Ethan the green light to just fucking ruin this guy's day.
Like, it's no secret, like, between us that it can be awkward for people to be around you, right? Like, you know that you elicit that response.
Why do people think that when I'm just a funny guy trying to have fun? Why does that perception happen?
You don't know?
No. Or I hear dad jokes or cringe, and I'm
Just a completely obnoxious, callous fucking asshole the whole time.
It is
You seem to
powerful.
be very focused on race, like, when you do your bits.
Well, I was a marathon runner, and that's part of that reason.
Yeah, why is...
You said I was focused on race,
Right.
and it's because I was a marathon runner
Right.
when I was younger.
Right.
How'd she get that and you didn't? Race?
Well, I don't know why. I kept
It was bad.
No,
It was bad.
No, it was good. I just kept hearing you say blacks in my mind.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it racist to refer to black people as blacks?
So Ethan's clearly just looking for reasons to not like this guy, and he focuses heavily on the fact that his jokes are dated and they're kind of racist in a way. And oh my god, did you see that? Look at this. My god, Ethan. So we just got a good look at the Google Doc he uses to question this guy. And wouldn't you know it, it outlines every single question he asks.
For me, and I got a big outfit. And
So
when
you're a successful dentist. What is your passion? Is it comedy or dentistry?
Well, I wasn't doing this for money. I'm not making money doing it. It's a
Right.
passion from here.
So what does your wife think about the...
She thinks I'm nuts. And I got my oldest son that thinks I'm nuts, and my young one thinks I'm hysterical.
What does she think about all the female attention you get?
It even has some of the fucking jokes that he uses.
Jimmy emails me very frequently. He pretty much emails me like 5 times a day. We're best friends. He emails Hila too.
Except I ended up blocking him.
So now we know why he was so pushy during the JonTron interview. When he has an agenda, he just goes with it. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't even listen to what the people are saying. He asks the questions he wrote down and doesn't even care to transition them properly.
That's kind of a personal question, right?
It's funny because who would do this? That's why I don't get the people don't get
That's
it.
why it's funny.
Yeah.
Who would do this?
That's why Hila, we have to get famous so people expect to see it.
That's like, that's almost like murdering your whole family and then being like, who would do this?
Well, it's okay
It's
because I'm
funny,
famous
right?
now. People
It's
expect
cute.
It's cute. It's funny. Who would do this?
I'm not that crazy over the line.
You're not that crazy.
No,
but that would be funny.
I would never hurt a person. I just want to be noticed and have fun. That's really all it is. We had fun.
We had a good time.
We had fun.
We had a lot.
We almost got killed a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was a good time.
So they're having a normal conversation, and the guy just seems too human, right? So Ethan has to dehumanize him by doing this.
That's exactly what happened. It was actually, Ethan, a fluke.
So, would you want to roast one of us? Because you're like a roast comedian, right?
Yeah, but
Let's hear it.
all of a sudden, we're having this serious thing, and now I got to go into Jimmy Lee mode.
Let's do it.
All right, so who am I roasting? Am I roasting?
You can start with me.
You want me to start
Take it
with
Hila
you?
on poor Hila. Yeah, I can take it.
Well,
Okay, this is a dance monkey dance situation. For those of you who don't know what that means, when you say dance monkey dance, it basically describes the desire of one person to have another person perform a trick for their entertainment. It's generally really demeaning, and the person asked to perform the trick is usually devalued for satisfying the request. Now in this situation, Jimmy is being very fucking nice to Ethan. He goes through with it. He tries his best to be funny on the spot in front of all these viewers. But Ethan doesn't want him to be funny. He just wants to demean the guy. So after so long of the guy trying his best to be funny, he actually kind of succeeds. And obviously Ethan doesn't like that, so he looks at the script and he tries to take him down by saying,
Hey, Jimmy, do me a favor. Take off those glasses. You're making a spectacle.
oh, I never heard that joke before.
Hey, Jimmy, how long have you been white?
I'll be black with you in a minute.
What? I don't even get the jokes. Like I don't
No,
even
one
know
of
what
my
they mean.
one of my jokes is when I do the blacks, I have my whole setup. But when
blacks?
I'm done, I go, I'll be black with you in a minute. I added that one in.
That's powerful.
It is
You seem to
powerful.
be very focused on race, like when you do your bits.
Well, I was a marathon runner, and that's part of that reason.
Yeah, why?
and I'm dead serious. Like this is uploaded to their channel. It's still there. You should watch it because it's just insane that this guy who's actually being very respectful and answering Ethan's questions, he just gets the fucking cold shoulder.
Whew, let's keep watching, man. This video is spectacular.
Okay.
It's
bald-headed
brutal.
women.
You got. I feel like you have to acknowledge that watching this is brutal.
I love this shit. You know why? I grew up on Don Rickles. I have a lot of older people that have been coming to me years and they love me and they get me because they're 50 to 60 and it's the old school jokes. And I know who not to do it with. It's two different
All
personalities.
right, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Our sponsors
You know what I
briefly.
like is the fun with the seriousness and the juxtaposing it.
Right.
And we're doing it great off the cuff. Back when we were really young is when there were two comedians. You see, in the 70s, 80s it was one, but when it was this 50s,
All right, Jimmy, we're gonna take a quick break.
All right, I'm
run to the
sorry.
bathroom. We'll be ready in like 3 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking in. I'm in over my head.
Seriously.
Is this I feel like I have no control over this.
You had complete control of this podcast, Ethan. You asked all the questions, and he answered them. When you were interrupted, he didn't fight you. When you told him what to do, he would do it. The only reason the podcast failed is because you wanted it to. You wanted to rag on this old man, and you succeeded. And Hila's no angel, okay? When this guy goes to the bathroom, she fucking literally suggests that they kick him out.
Say we could bring Dan with the news after the break.
And Ethan loves this idea because he goes through with it. He does it.
Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry.
I feel like I have no control over this.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.
I hope you don't get stabbed or shot.
No.
I wish you health and happiness and all the attention.
What
in
is
the world.
what is your advice for me?
I think you're too mean. I think you have to tone it down a little bit.
Am we finished now?
You're being, in the.
Am I being ejected?
You know,
it's the ninth inning. I'm
Jimmy,
being ejected.
You know, in the old cartoons gags, they'd have like a long cane and they pull you off stage.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dan, bring out the giant cane.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks
I love
for
you
coming
guys.
out for us. Thanks for coming. I love you too, buddy.
I love you.
Yeah.
And you have an open invitation. A couple hours.
What's
Email
the address?
me. It's the Peninsula
No,
Hotel.
don't say it.
Oh, beep. You know where
Sorry,
I'm
I
at.
shouldn't have set you up on that.
You can email me if you want.
All right, Jimmy. God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
kids. I love you.
Thank you,
Peace
everybody.
and love, and
It's been-
H3H3 rocks.
Thank you.
And of course, once he leaves, they talk shit about him.
I didn't want to be too rude. That was what
You
I was
I thought
worried about.
you had the perfect tone, though.
Really?
I think
Oh, yeah.
meeting a meme is always a risk.
Right.
You don't know what you're getting into.
I don't like. I can't sit in a room with Jimmy for like 2 hours.
Heart of
I
the
think
brand
our
at this
biggest
point.
mistake was not bringing any cringe
We should have.
gear.
We should have come in a hazmat suit.
Did the hazmat suit for
We should have put his ass in a hazmat suit. Like with Jimmy, I'm like, I hope it works out, and then half of me's like, I hope it doesn't work out, so I don't have to sit in there and deal with this shit.
And what makes this perfect is that during the interview, Ethan made it seem like the guy was racist, that his jokes, that were clearly jokes, were racist. And then 5 minutes after the old guy leaves, he says this.
Rationale for banning dabbing.
There it is.
That was a brutal dab. He held formation for
It's like
a
a
minute.
scary dab.
Hold on.
That was like a fucking jihad dab. That was like a fucking straight up
Let's
Allah
see.
Akbar dab.
Here we go. We're going in slow-mo now.
Wind up.
Whoa! Damn.
Dude, that's when the bombs go off.
I treat my answer really. I just treat people with the same respect they give me at the end.
Right.
Don't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It's just that's me.
Okay, so Jimmy Lee had a very small following, if any at all, so Ethan felt that he could act that way toward him and he would get minimal backlash. But what happens when he treats another YouTuber with disrespect? Well, this is William Osman. He's an engineer who makes very creative and very interesting videos. Now, a while ago, his house actually burned down, and obviously that was a pretty, devastating experience for him. But one of the projects that he was working on was a beanie that talked, and it was made for Ethan specifically. And that video garnered a lot of attention, and finally, after about 5 months, William was invited onto the podcast. However, there was one small little issue with William's channel. He only had 600,000 subscribers. You see, when you look back at all of the YouTubers that have been on Ethan's podcast, there is not a single one with less than 1 million subscribers, except Eric from Internet Comment Etiquette, which is a great channel, and you should check it out. But he is included always with Jack's Films, and Jack's Films obviously has a lot of subscribers. So he's kind of supplementary, And as well, Eric obviously is well known for bouncing on his boy's dick.
PewDiePie did nothing wrong.
Come the fuck on. It's not a multi-layered fucking issue. Don't say the N-word.
It's
Just
not
don't
that
say it.
complicated.
But other than Eric, William was the first person to be invited onto the podcast with less than 1 million subs. For once, Ethan opened the doors for someone who was up and coming. So why do I say this is an issue? Because he wasn't given a full episode. He was given a 20-minute time space on an episode.
They said we're going to be on for like 20 minutes. That doesn't make me feel like a very special guest, but sort of a temperate, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like supplemental to whatever show. So what we've learned is that we're not exciting enough.
Creeps online. I'm going to teach these kids a lesson.
And when you watch the episode, there is very little substance to this hour-long episode of the podcast, and William could have easily filled that time.
This is a very mediocre episode.
We're just sitting here.
Every time it's like, this is the best episode. No, this is a very mediocre episode. Let me be upfront with you.
But, okay, whatever, 20 minutes is still better than no time at all, right? So let's just see what they talk about.
So the story of this beanie's creation is also an interesting one. Interesting, nice word for tragic one.
I'll show you the fridge. What we got?
That's the fridge.
Oh, we're there.
Fuck.
Oh, there they are.
Oh my god.
Look.
What's the process like of like, okay, you go to the site, everything's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do?
It's a very lost feeling. It's not a good feeling. It's, imagine everything stripped away. You don't know what you're doing the next day. You don't know what you're doing the next week. You don't know anything. And
What's the thing that you really were depressed about losing that maybe you didn't expect, but
it wasn't having lost something. It was just not being able to sort of jump back into everything as
Yeah.
instantaneously as you do every day.
So for the sake of saving you some time, they basically just talk about how his house burned down for a good 15 minutes of his 20 minutes. And obviously, you know, if this were a full-fledged podcast, then it would make sense for them to go on about this for a while. But he only has 20 minutes. So basically, the majority of his time was spent talking about a devastating situation he endured. And to their credit, Ethan and Gila seem like they do care. But immediately after this, they transition swiftly into the talking beanie.
Well, I'm happy that you made it out.
Me too.
I mean, you really saved the most important thing, really.
I
mean,
agree.
You went and you got the beanie. And
I'm not joking. This really was high on my priority. Not specifically because of you, but because it was the video. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for you, Ethan.
Let me try this thing on. Let's see. Let's.
Oh.
Shit.
We got sound effects.
Turn it up, Dan. A small chance exists that I will set on fire and kill anyone who wears me. God bless. I think I did the bit.
Nice. That was good.
Thank you, everyone. Round of applause for the beanie god.
So far they've talked about his house burning down, and he's presented them the beanie. So what's next?
All right, that was great. I had a lot. So, thank you very much. I'll say, William.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So that's it. They just wanted him to come on, talk about his tragedy, and then give him the beanie and get out.
Well, once again, thank you so much, William. And really appreciate you coming out here all the way from Ventura.
Yeah.
You're
You guys
great.
want to come up to Ventura and do shenanigans? We have some shenanigans.
We have shenanigans in Ventura.
I mean, we can come here too, but if you guys have any shenanigan idea.
Despite making some promises during the podcast.
100%. I think that we definitely will have some shenanigan ideas. Is this
Yeah, it's going.
There has been no collaboration attempts that I have seen.
Anyway, thank you, dude. God bless. They really appreciate you coming out here.
Thank you.
And it's sad because this is like the perfect YouTuber for them to collaborate with. A nice, fresh-faced up-and-comer who has creative ideas. It would be perfect. But Ethan doesn't care to collaborate with people who are below him. He only looks above. And it's a bad fucking idea because you're gonna end up getting hit hard with a lot of people realizing that you don't care.
All right. God bless, man. Thank you. So I don't know how to transition because we don't have a break.
Do I need to leave now?
You don't have to. You want to hang out?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we've got, let's see, we're moving on. We are moving on to the goddamn frickin' Ian's Beat. This was great.
By the way, did you say that we just posted a video?
We just posted that during the break. What a multi-talented beanie god I am. Thank you.
Do you schedule posts or do you just send them?
No. We never use
I
the
don't
schedule.
There's not enough planning every
So you're
time.
like videos exported and it's on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the
that's
most
us
part.
too.
At the best, maybe, well, I don't even say at the best. The only reason I wouldn't post it, I think the beanie's
It's still making
literally about to
noises.
explode.
I think it's.
Oh, is it this?
I think it's this.
Why you?
Oh, this.
It's not our table.
Well, I don't know. Man. I'm new here.
Yeah, the video's up. But at best, we'll like unlist it overnight because we'll finish at like 10 p.m. and posting isn't really an option.
That's really early.
At 10 p.m.
Yeah.
To finish a video.
Yeah, we pull all-nighters pretty much every single time.
Yeah. We used to do that.
We used to.
But
I
I think
we're trying to be healthier.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a life.
And like not do that.
Excuse me.
It's hard. No,
All right,
it doesn't always happen.
We have to bring Ian in. We have an update to Ian, the intern. Well, we got to play the song when Ian enters.
I know, but we got to.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I gotta set up a 2-shot.
We got a 2-shot, right.
Is this live right now?
Do you guys mind? Yeah, we're live. Do you guys mind swapping out?
That's fine.
This is...
Oh, yeah.
This.
Yeah, 'cause we're
we
actually
didn't
not
plan to
set
have
up.
two guests at once. Ian, or William, God bless you. Everybody, please check out William's channel. I'm going to put a link in the description. Yeah, please leave that there forever.
Yeah, right.
Forever. Okay, get that. Throw that out the window. All right, Ian, come on. Come get ridiculed.
And you know, the disrespect didn't end there. After the episode was put publicly, the initial title was Booty Doctor Films Patients and Coughing Beanie. Like, that's a shit title. Why not just put the guy's name in it? He has a fucking significant following. 600K is not nothing, man. Anyway, the viewers picked up on this very easily, and the title was changed. Although for some reason the booty doctor description was extended, so you can't see his name in recommended. And I do think that this lack of respect that is displayed by Ethan is largely to do with this fucking micromanaging of the podcast. We saw already that he has scripts for his podcast and he has questions, and clearly this is causing issues because he sticks too closely to his shitty scripts. You know, this is a fan and a fellow YouTuber who was very excited to come on, and rather than exploring his mind, you limited him to two things: Beanie and fucking fire. This also kind of explains why the Bill Burr podcast went so poorly. But you see, the difference is that usually the person who Ethan brings on is well aware of who Ethan is. And so Ethan feels a degree of power, right? Because he's this authority figure or whatever. But Bill Burr doesn't know who the fuck Ethan is, and he doesn't care. And Ethan went into it assuming that he would already have respect. He felt like he didn't have to earn it. And Bill Burr's a very grounded guy, and he fucking shattered that illusion, and it was beautiful to see.
The great Bill Burr is here today.
I don't know about great. Give me somewhere
the
to go.
Greatest.
Oh,
The
yeah.
great.
The greatest guy sitting across from you right now. The NCAA?
There's a lot going on for the great Bill Burr with the greatest Bill Burr.
Oh,
I do mean that, by the way. I know it makes you uncomfortable.
It
but,
does.
Yeah.
One great was bad enough.
Does it? But you know that.
I like being appreciated.
Yeah, okay.
Just say,
tone it
back
down.
with the person I appreciate.
So once again, the
That
great,
kinda-
great mind
that's his-
that I appreciate very much.
That's his finishing move.
Well, I love that moment. I love everything you do. The great.
This is how you turn it around. This is how you turn it around.
We're
I made
all-
you uncomfortable. Now you fucking sit here and compliment me. Those guys.
Very, very funny gentlemen. Good people.
Good people, yeah. There you go.
All right.
What are you going to say at the beginning? Tony, you are the greatest comedian.
I
You do it to everybody.
I don't. I swear to God, I don't.
No.
But you know what I'm
I'm
gonna tell him?
kidding, man.
You know what
I'm
I'm
kidding.
gonna tell him? I'm gonna say I appreciate you, Tony.
Okay, cool.
We don't. The great Bill Burr doesn't have time for that.
All right.
Now, I'm not ragging on him for being nervous. I'm ragging on him because his superiority complex was shattered, and it was revealed that it's actually an underlying layer of insecurity that is driving him.
See, that's part of. I feel like that's a new thing. You're already worried about your daughter being sexually assaulted. You know, how old's your daughter?
I don't think that is. I think that's you projecting your OCD on me. It's
you're talking about, you know.
that she said 3 words and she totally communicated like
Right.
That's so
yeah.
Oh, it seems like you're in love with your daughter, hearing you talk about her on the podcast.
Jesus Christ. Well, you're pretty perceptive. You think you care
Well,
about your own child.
Listen, more than that, okay?
And you also had a zillion kids, so I mean, yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah,
somehow
by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay.
Whoa.
Off the air, I'll tell you.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well,
There's
you can mention the
there's
amount.
absolutely crazy people out there.
Okay, yeah. No. This is one of the first times I heard about you. I was in college, I think, at the time. It was when you were getting booed by thousands
God,
of people
I was
in
hoping
Philly.
you were. I was like, when you said my favorite
You don't-
YouTube video, I was like, oh God, not the Philly thing again. And then you did the Sherry's Berries. I was like, I love this podcast. Now I hate you.
Oh no.
I love. What can I do? I
Absolutely.
love that.
I'm joking. I'm fucking with you. Go ahead, let's do it.
But do
So
you?
what was
But,
those three you had?
no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna ask you.
Were bullied. Have you been booed before?
You've talked about this a lot.
Probably more than the grape lady.
I didn't
Yes.
realize.
No, but go ahead. Let's
now,
do it.
Well,
Let's
now
do it.
I frankly,
I like making you.
I like to skip it.
I like making you uncomfortable.
Well, what
do
am I
this
supposed
thing.
to? Well, what am I? Yeah, right.
You know, you could,
And now, what do you want me to be? Well, what was going through your head, Bill, when you're getting booed by all those people?
Yeah. You're a really cynical guy, man.
I thought you were down. I thought you were
a
gonna be
lot.
down.
That is a lot for me to say that.
I
like
thought
you're
you were
like
going to
out
be down, but
cynical
it's
in me.
apparently I'm cynical even to Bill Burr. Shit. Doing something's burning.
Oh, you
Something's burting.
Yeah. Bert's. question. That's why I'm here. He told me, he goes, you guys
God bless Bert. He's such a sweetheart. Do you watch YouTube videos at all?
Hey, G-Sauce, retard here. And is Ethan Klein a joke thief?
No. Greg, are you going to do what H3 does, where he goes against his morals for financial gain and then also lies to his viewers a lot? Are you going to do that as well? Also, are you going to steal content ideas of other creators and then use them as your own and not tell anyone?
Shots. Yikes. Okay.
Well, according to Chad, he is. But Chad's name is also anything for views, so, doesn't exactly add credibility.
Ethan, stop stealing your jokes and stop telling the same ones, and you should be good.
Oh, because he stole the Vape Nation meme?
Oh, yeah, tell everyone. Don't tell them where they stole it from. Just say you stole it.
Yeah.
The
The number one gem of Ethan Klein, Vape Nation, was a stolen idea from a friend, a close friend. And who's the type of person?
Shut up, Keem! I told you this. You're not allowed to repeat it.
Oh, this is getting spicy. But like, can you be honest with it? Like, who'd he take it from? Why you freaking blue balling me?
Language. Oh, we got something. $3 from Schmeichel424. We want to who Ethan stole a weapon from though. Oh yeah, I don't know if I can reveal that. But someone that Ethan is was friends with.
Oh.
I'm not giving away more than that because I really can't say. Information of who it was isn't out there, so I can't say. Oh, we got something. Hang on. $3 from Zacharias. Oh well, Keem just gave it away. I just saw in the chat. Keem gave it away. There you go. You got your answer. That's exclusive.
Okay. I mean, Ethan's kind of already admitted that in a way.
One day I was filming with Filthy Frank, and his producer was there, and he was vaping so hard. I was like, "Dog, what is going on with like this vaping?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it's Vape Nation." And I was like, "Wait," say that again? And I was like, "Holy fuck, like that's brilliant, fucking Vape Nation."
Chad, Keem, can you tell everyone what's going on here exactly? Either that or just don't talk about it at all, because that's just straight drama, bro. Like, what the fuck? Also, quick update. My ex-wife is now pregnant with my brother's child. In the podcast following Ethan's drunken rant about Keemstar, he makes this comment.
By the way, the show, I don't need to clickbait. We're okay, all right? I'm not like desperate for more clicks. To put it mildly.
Okay, so I see a humble brag and a way for you to deflect the criticism that you used PewDiePie's controversy to kind of clickbait people and make them watch the podcast. But when somebody else brings up your financial situation, it's a little different.
It was great. No, I'm so happy. Seems like you're doing all right for yourself.
Yeah, we got some walls, we got some curtains.
We're trying.
You know, we're trying.
Dude, it's been too
Still
long.
hustling.
Yikes. Ooh, you really didn't like that. Doesn't take a genius to see you did not like that. To imply that Ethan is making a fuck ton of money from the podcast? That would be crazy. But since John hit a soft spot there, let me poke a little further into it. Ethan, you started the podcast because ad revenue was low. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need money to support yourself, then get it however you need. Just make sure your content doesn't suffer. But let me fill you guys in on a little juicy detail, little piece of nice meat. Do you want to know why Ethan is focused so heavily on the podcast over the last year? Why he hasn't made any original content in the last 4 months? Why his Twitter now links to the podcast channel instead of the main channel? It's because the podcast makes a fuck ton of money. Let me break it down for you. Why is it that almost every YouTuber I know of has started a podcast this year? Well, the answer's pretty simple. They make money. It's because podcasts can get direct sponsors, and direct sponsors make a lot more than just regular content. But here's where the problem arises. Each episode of the H3 podcast has 3 to 4 sponsors. That is insane.
Today's episode is sponsored by MeUndies Movement. NatureBox, and Dollar Shave Club. This episode is brought to you by Quip, Dollar Shave Club, and of course my new favorite game on the block, Elder Scroll Legends. Thank you to Dollar Shave Club, Mint Mobile, and ExpressVPN today for sponsoring us. Thank you to our sponsors today, Bowl and Branch, Dollar Shave Club, Audible, and Quip.
If I were to be like insanely conservative, like fucking Mike Pence levels conservative, I would say that they are making at least $10 per 1,000 views. At the fucking bare minimum. Then add pre-roll ads, then add the separate clips channel, and then of course add, the affiliate links when people actually, purchase the products. That means that an average episode of the H3 podcast is making conservatively $20,000. You can think I'm full of shit, but come on.
And then he said, "You only put 100,000 on it." I said, "Abso-fucking-lutely, I put 100,000 on it." Goes to the winner. Winner takes all.
Just think about it. Each podcast episode gets, let's say, average 1 million. Again, conservative. That's a lot of people watching your ads. But again, I have to repeat, there is nothing wrong with that. Just make sure your content does not suffer. That's the equation. That's the trade-off. Make more money, do it how you need, make better content, or at least the same degree. That's how CowChop does it. That's what, most relatively successful communities do it. The videos improve over time. But yours don't. You spend an average of 10 full minutes each podcast talking about your sponsors. Instead of reading a script and keeping it quick and, saving people some time, you drag it on, you talk about it, you ramble about it with Gila, and it's recorded completely separately of the conversation as well, so it's like a legit commercial break.
Well, a short break. We will be back soon with your boy, John Tron. Thank you to MeUndies for sponsoring this episode of the H3 Podcast. Next, we've got Movement and VMT. These guys make the best frickin' watches at the best frickin' prices. All right, we'll take a break, guys. Don't leave, because we have got so much great stuff left. If you leave, you blow it. Capiche? See you guys soon. Thank you to NatureBox, the most slammin' snacks in town. Here, let me try this. This is the Sriracha Cashew. Oh my God. Forget about it. Thank you to Dollar Shave Club. One of our greatest, most loyal sponsors. I love Dollar Shave Club. They make a great product.
It doesn't flow very well. It's a legitimate break in the content. And sometimes these breaks are fucking literally 9 minutes long. Such like in the Ninja interview.
He was just like, we're just kicking it, gaming.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
That's so cool. Guys, we're going to take a short break. We will be right back. Do not go away. Do not leave. Dan cut me off. We'll be right back after this commercial break. See you guys soon. They've got Dr. Carver shave butter. This stuff's amazing. Like, I'm going to put fucking like whipped cream on my face. You know that shit?
Yeah.
You look like a cream pie. I care about you guys and wish the best for you. Jesus, I really went on a tangent there.
Like, man, I've heard you ramble about Dollar Shave Club so many fucking times in my life at this point that I'm surprised you don't shoot yourself every time you fucking ramble, honestly, because it's nuts. The amount of time you've spent in your life talking about Dollar Shave Club. You don't even shave. So now we understand why the main channel has suffered so much. It's because why fucking bother making high quality content that takes you potentially hundreds of hours to make when you're gonna make like $500 off the AdSense? Why not just fucking sit down, talk to somebody or talk to your wife who will barely respond, and you'll make 20 to 40K in a 2-hour span. That's why the podcast is twice a week. It's so that he can make twice as much money while being half as entertaining. Seriously though, the podcasts where there's no guest are terrible. Like, they're just lazy. And your demeanor, it's cynical, it's gross. They consist of you repeating the same jokes, bullying, or complaining. And I'm not nitpicking. This is every, podcast. There's some degree of these three elements. Like, here's an episode, a random episode, and a recent one as well.
We've been having a little bit of a altercation with Prank Invasion.
You remember Prank Invasion? A bit of a meme, yeah.
I'm a pudgy little guy, and Prank Invasion literally just got out of prison for 3 years for some kind of sexual crime.
Holy shit, really?
That is not.
Well, it's
literally.
Well, I don't know what I mean, no, it is a joke.
Oh. It's a joke.
It is a joke, what I'm saying. I mean, do I need to say that every time?
Well, yeah. Because your delivery was fucking terrible and lazy. I mean, it's still kind of funny, though.
I wouldn't be surprised, can I say that, if he went to prison for a sexual crime.
His jokes are always better the second time.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to... I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm anticipating it.
The third.
I am scared of you. That's not like unmanly to admit that I'm scared of some unhinged psychopath who's roided up and just got out of prison for a sexual crime.
Wow, this is fucked.
You literally repeated me saying I was scared that you were in prison for your first sexual crime and were lifting weights that whole time. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that guy went to prison for a sexual crime within the next couple of months.
I could see some rumors starting to pile up that
Of
he
what,
actually
the
went to
rumor
prison for a
that
year.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime, Hila? It's a joke. He didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Can you imagine kissing Chris? His breath is probably so gross. I bet you he has tonsil stones. Any slander about him being a sex criminal that's been in prison for the last couple of years, I'm going to be in contact with his probation officer, and we're going to make sure that those sexual crimes he has committed are not going to be expunged and are going to remain on the sex offender website for a long, long time. Just a joke.
I know that you're joking. It's very obviously a joke. You're saying, look at his face. His face is a rapist face. Look at his dumb rapist face. I think it's one of those jokes you really have to repeat it 1,000 times to really understand where the humor comes from.
He repeats himself in his main videos too, but those get edited down and they're not quite as bad. But what we see on the podcast is just how repetitive he naturally is. Constantly harping on the same joke, fucking letting it drag on for 20 full minutes, and then slowly you start to realize, holy shit, I don't think he's joking. I think he's trying to brainwash me. Hey guys, I'd like to let you in on a little bit of a fucking discovery I've made over these many days of editing this video. You see, much like how iDubbbz coined the phrase the anti-insult for Leafy, I too have discovered a little habit of our good old pal Ethan. Now this one is called the H3 joke. You see, it's clever because the H stands for hypnotize, and then the 3 stands for the number of steps involved. Now step 1 is pretty simple, okay? All you have to do is make a slanderous or damaging comment that is either completely untrue or extremely exaggerated. Something Ethan's more than capable of doing.
And Prank Invasion literally just got out of prison for 3 years for some kind of sexual crime.
And then there's the second step, which is even simpler. Just repeat that comment over and over and over. Really make sure you're drilling it into the head of your viewers.
I wouldn't be surprised, can I say that, if he went to prison for a sexual crime. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And just got out of prison for a sexual crime. That you were in prison for your first sexual crime. If that guy went to prison for a sexual crime.
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
And then there's the third step. And you see, the third step is very important because without this, you might get into a little bit of trouble. This is because the third step is to say that it is a joke.
For a long, long time. Just a joke.
Or to say that you love the person or the person is a legend.
Jimmy's a legend. The guy's a legend. He's a legend. Welcome the legend.
You see, this is genius because it allows you to completely slander this person and convince people subconsciously that this person is a bad person or unworthy of their respect. But at the same time, you get to avoid criticism by saying that it's a joke. And of course, the viewers assume that you're honest when you say these things, but in reality, these comments are only meant to put the person down. And the statement of loving them or it being a joke is only meant to cover your ass. Now, knowing these 3 steps, try watching an episode of the podcast and tell me if you can get through a single one without seeing an H3 joke. For me, after watching so many episodes of the podcast, I've realized that Ethan has a very unique skill. He is able to reach a level of 100% sarcasm, meaning that he can make it to a point where literally he can say one thing and in the mind of his viewers, the exact opposite is interpreted.
Jimmy's a legend. The guy's a legend.
And honestly, this strategy is impressive in a way, because instead of using those harsh words, the words that he is actually thinking when he speaks of these people, you know, things like they're a loser, they're a piece of shit, or they're not worthy of your respect, instead of saying that directly to the viewer, he gets to subconsciously imply it and kind of reinforce it in their heads. But by masking it under a heavy layer of sarcasm, you get to avoid any form of criticism, because your exact words are not offensive. The intention is still malicious, but the exact words, you can't call them out for those. Honestly, Ethan, you've kind of inspired me, man, because that's a really good method of making it clear that you hate someone. So to everyone watching, I just want you guys to know that I think Ethan is just a legend. I love that he still makes fun of his fupa, and I think he's just a funny guy overall, to be honest with you. I think his jokes are very creative, and I think he's a very honest person, especially with his fan base. But most importantly, I don't think that the H3 podcast will crash and burn. Ethan? Am I doing it right?
That other guy's asking, if you could sucker punch anyone you wanted from all throughout history, who would you punch and why?
The one person I would say I can't say because of I can't say. Maybe you can read between. Maybe you can read between the lines, but I can't say.
Okay, I think I know who.
I wouldn't say it publicly because there's just it wouldn't be worth it.
Okay, who's somebody you can say publicly?
I can't. I'm not even going to say it.
Do you just want to punch?
I'm not even going to say it. There's one person in particular. Ela, if you could sucker punch one person, she knows what I'm talking about. I definitely punch this guy. Yeah. I don't need I don't need a travel machine to sucker punch this guy.
Vince McMahon. I just got to make a decision.
So that's it. I can't say his name. Otherwise, it'll be bad news.
Fair enough.
But I think hopefully enough people know who I'm talking about.
2 to the 1, 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke.
So Ethan has a segment on his podcast where he talks about serious news articles, current events, and this is honestly where I start to lose my sympathy because this is where Ethan shows that he's a fucking idiot.
In Pennsylvania, there's an epidemic, an actual pedophile ring, okay?
Of priests.
300 priests. I don't know how many priests are in Pennsylvania, but I can't imagine more than like 1,000. I mean, I don't know what's the number, but what is that? 30%? How can you talk about Pizzagate when the Catholic Church is literally a satanic cult?
Wow, man. You really like exaggerating.
And you're not all in on it? Not just covering it up.
Who is all in on it?
Everybody.
What do you mean?
Everybody. If 30% of the people that work for you are fucking kids, like what reason do you have to keep that system moving? And it's just so funny and ironic to me that people will go slander.
Basically make up stuff.
To you viewers, I hope you understand why this is stupid.
I think there's a lot more of these guys fucking kids than just the 300.
Yeah.
Everybody's
What do you
in
mean
on it,
by
bro.
everybody?
The fucking everybody. The whole church, all the priests, the bishops.
Well, yeah.
I don't know how high
300.
the Pope. I don't know. The Pope. Imagine the Pope is raping children, and you're talking about Pizzagate.
So he takes random articles, he reads the title, and he reacts to them. And I don't think that he actually reads the articles. He might, but I don't think he does. I think that he has, as you can see on the podcast if you watch them, he has the people who work for him kind of explain the rough ideas of what the article is about. So obviously his opinion is not that informed. And it's not like he's looking at multiple sources or like backing his shit up. It's, just shooting the shit in front of 1 million people. 1 million impressionable people.
What exactly does the Catholic Church do except rape kids? I think it's time to close it down. I think it's time to lock shop up on that church. Are you enjoying that tax exemption? Why are we giving them a tax exemption? Let's give them tax exemption.
Here's another one.
Here's the problem with these evil scumbags. These CEOs that run these banks to just fucking pillage the whole world. The government, for whatever reason, has chosen that not to prosecute these criminals. These absolute human parasites. Our government is run by such fucking cowards. And by the way, Donald Trump, Mr. Drain the Swamp. What happened? I'm just a YouTuber. How does that qualify me to tell you who to vote for? Who to fucking elect as president? I literally go to the grocery stores with 200 shirts on. And you're looking to me for advice on who to vote for president? Yeah, there are got to be better people out here to advise you on that. Every American wants to see these soulless, evil fucks put in prison. So where's the justice? Why are these people not going to prison for life when one black guy can steal a Mars bar and go to prison for 10 years? Why is the swamp not draining? It makes me so angry. Those fucking, oh my God, they're so evil. Why? I don't understand that level of greed. What drives you, you psychopath?
Is the beanie like the new fedora? Did you fucking ruin beanies for me, Ethan?
You know what it is? A normal person, like, we're rich by comparison to someone who's making $30,000 a year, but like real rich, we're still normal people because real rich is like billionaires. Fulfillment centers having slave-like conditions where workers are pushed to be so productive that they're peeing in bottles because they're actually afraid to take a bathroom break. This isn't America. This sounds like conditions in sweatshops in China. Dude, the more and more I learn about shit...
It's really depressing to hear that about Amazon.
But also, Jeff Bezos is worth nearly $1 trillion. So hire a couple more people. So that's what I mean about these psychopaths.
Yeah, he's
like,
the richest man in the world, right?
He's the richest man in the world. And hire more people so people can go to the bathroom. That doesn't even come close to affecting your bottom line. When you personally are worth $1 trillion fucking dollars.
Yeah. Holy fuck, Ethan, you're actually an idiot. Jeff Bezos is worth a fucking $160 billion. A 2-second Google search would have told you that. But you know what? Honestly, you're only off by like $840 billion, so fuck it.
If you know anyone who's working class, they're getting fucking slam dunked on by some psychopath billionaire. By the way, the more I learn about like stuff, the more I suspect. I'm so skeptical. We work with China on Teddy Fresh, so I started to learn more about what's going on there. They get in China a month off. The whole fucking country takes a whole month off. Everything shuts down. You cannot work with these Chinese factories for an entire month. The whole country is on vacation. Meanwhile, in America, there's this. You always hear like, "Oh man, sweatshops in China, they're all getting worked out to the fucking teeth." Meanwhile, they've got a whole month off, and we're pissing in bottles to remain productive. It's this American attitude. It's a sickness. This sickness that's like, I got mine and fuck everyone else. It's so fucked up. And China has better working conditions, you guys. America has the potential to actually be the greatest country that ever fucking existed, man. Title: Amazon warehouse workers allegedly pee in bottles to avoid punishment. While Amazon is known for revolutionary e-commerce with its quick delivery system for a variety of products, its workers allegedly sacrifice toilet time to meet the company's demands. Workers in the UK... Oh, this is in the UK, so what the fuck did I just talk about?
This particular article is about a UK one.
The H3 HD production has always been about logical. We break it down and we think about it. That's fucking interesting. That's going on in the UK too.
Let's be sure to remind our viewers that they can subscribe for free with
Amazon Twitch Prime. Thank you, Jeff Bezos.
Now that is irony.
It's honestly fucking surreal watching these segments that were so good in Ethan's mind that they were uploaded separately to the Clips channel. Like, they were that worthy of content.
Grandma slammed by police. Huh. Okay. Moving along.
Let me say this. Okay. I respect police officers. I respect the job. I respect what they do.
Thank you.
You signed up for a dangerous job, and you're well compensated.
You did sign up for a dangerous job, but just because it's a dangerous job doesn't mean you have to unnecessarily put your life or limb in danger. When I was a police officer, I made less than $30,000 a year.
But my opinions are the right opinions, and if you disagree with me, you're just clearly wrong. 87-year-old woman tased while cutting dandelions.
I think titles like that are misleading. Was she cutting dandelions before officers showed up and tased her? Yeah, but she wasn't exactly cutting dandelions when the officers did tase her.
The police training in the United States is basically, if you are in any risk, shoot to kill.
Something tells me that Ethan has never been to any kind of police training whatsoever. I personally went through police training, and if I killed a person every time I felt that I was the least bit threatened, I would be killing people every fucking day, man. I just think that it's dangerous to be such an influential person and to make a statement like that to millions of followers, because a lot of them are just going to go with it.
The choice between tasing an 87-year-old woman and possibly receiving a knife strike from an 87-year-old woman, you have to weigh the severity.
Receiving a knife strike from someone regardless of age can cause nerve damage, death, loss of sight. A knife strike is deadly force. Well, what are you supposed to do in that situation?
You could have done anything.
Okay, other less than lethal options. Baton. Are you going to hit an old lady with a baton? No, that would instantly break bone. Tackle her. You're not going to tackle an old lady. But I'm just looking at it objectively from all angles. I'm gathering all the facts and I'm looking at it instead of believing in my head what I think might have happened.
You could kill anyone. Nobody should be tasered.
But especially...
It could kill anyone. No one should be tasered.
Enjoy Keemstar, the pinnacle of logic and sanity on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go enjoy his fucking show.
Bye-bye.
Where everything he says is well-researched and rational and reasoned.
You know, you really slammed Keemstar for being an unreliable, biased news source, but, like, come on, Ethan.
Let's watch Ted Cruz slam dunk. Now, Ted Cruz, I don't know what the situation here is, but he's in a church, of all places, playing hoop. And man, oh man, can he throw a rock. And by throw a rock, I mean drops like a rock. Here you have Ted Cruz taking a running jump at a trampoline to try to dunk the ball. But the prayers were not answered, and he is straight to hell. It looks like the devil literally sucked him down. He like defies gravity. He drops faster and harder than gravity allows. And I love it. So anyway, shout out to Ted Cruz, who, by all accounts, is hated by all. Yeah. Listen to the fucking podcast.
Ethan Klein.
Your source of factual information. Disconnect your internet, dude.
Ethan, why bother talking about serious shit, man? Like, seriously, why take the risk? Your opinion is not that important, Ethan. Like, just ask yourself, how did you get here? You went from being a complete fucking loser to having millions of subscribers, fans, and dollars. That's not a light matter. That happens for a reason. Was it because of your rock-solid opinion on everything? No. It's because you dress up like a retard. Strip it all away, and that is why you're funny. That is what people want to see. They want to see you make yourself look like a complete retard.
I promise you, I've never looked and felt this great ever before.
That's your brand. That's your competitive advantage. That you're confident enough to allow yourself to look like a complete retard.
It's like a Nazi, science experiment. Marijuana. I hope you've enjoyed our episode of Black.
You can criticize others and point out the obvious, but at the end of the day, everyone just wants to see you dress up like a retard. Like a clown.
Do we really need another obnoxious cunt like me in the world?
Like a goof. To do the opposite of take yourself seriously. It takes confidence to do that. Just don't convince yourself that people are coming to you for your well-rationed and reasonable opinions. That's not what got you here. Your funny and original content is what got you here. And it's the only thing that'll keep you here. When you take the effort and the comedy away, you get, well, the podcast. You get a fucking shiny 2-minute ad for a freemium game after 4 months of inactivity. You get bitter, cynical Ethan in his natural state. And you can't blame depression or anxiety for this, man. Like, I know you've brought it up a number of times, but come on. Like, at this point, we need to see some progress. It's getting worse and worse. You need to be actively trying to help yourself if that is the case.
Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour up on the stage. And then is heard no more.
Okay, alright. Now I'm going to discuss one last issue that I have with you. If I hadn't seen this, I would not have made this video. In the 27th podcast you made, you had an entire segment where you talked about Shoe Nice.
And I was thinking about having him on the podcast because he's just such a wild card, such a lunatic. Get him to come in here and eat some deodorant or something. And he was like, I'll be in LA in a couple weeks or next month. Or it was very open-ended. I was like, okay, well, I'll let you know.
So we discussed maybe doing a collab or a podcast. I don't even remember something.
Right.
And it was just in an email, and then we just didn't.
We just never followed up. We're like,
And you featured a video of him ranting about you and Filthy Frank, and he said some derogatory comments about you and Gila, and it was basically just him making himself look like an asshole.
Like he's obsessed with insulting you specifically. I love the twist anti-Semitic at the end.
So for those of you who don't know, Shoe Nice is a crippling alcoholic. He got really popular in 2011, 2012 for some videos of him basically slamming liters of alcohol within a few seconds.
Get set. Shoe Nice.
Me and my elementary school friends used to watch Shoe Nice all the time. And watching his videos, it does not take a genius to know that this guy is not in a good place. He is. He's a raging alcoholic. And if you've ever seen his Vice documentary, which I recommend, you can see that the guy is not all there. He has some issues, okay? And deep down, it seems like his intentions are good in general, but there's a lot of issues to be unraveled.
When was the last time I seen my son? That little spoiled rotten brat. When you see him again, tell him to tell his mom, dirty bitch, I'm getting half. We gotta finish this. We gotta...
You know, he's a very interesting guy, a very interesting case study. And Ethan is aware of all that, and he must think he's interesting too, because he used him as a punching bag in front of his audience of over 1 million.
And I'm pretty sure he's drunk all the time. He gets drunk. He's done this about 20 times. Makes this anti-Semitic ramble, and then he erases it when he sobers up. These are pretty entertaining, and so I'm kind of into like Shoe Nice hate videos now.
And he was aware of that when he gave Shoe Nice false hope of being on the podcast.
My biggest concern was I don't want him in this office, not only because I'm afraid he's going to try to kill somebody, but I also don't trust him with the address. I think he would like post it on Twitter immediately, just out of a drunk vengeance. I think he would be an interesting podcast guest, but I would want like legit security. I would want him patted down before he entered. Yeah, handcuffed. We'll have to restrain him. It'll be like a scene out of Silence of the Lambs where he's just sitting in a chair. We'll have to muzzle him, put a mask on him.
Because Ethan does not care about people's feelings on an individual level. On a grand scale, he cares what people think, but on an individual level, he does not. Unless, of course, you have something to offer him. Now, he only brought him up in this one segment, right? That's, you know, you bring up Shoe Nice once, he doesn't really know how he'll react. It's not a big deal, honestly. I would have definitely overlooked it because, you know, Shoe Nice probably enjoyed the attention. But now, here we are. It's been a year since that podcast, and Ethan's had a year to develop as a podcast maker, as a host, and well, he decided to add Shoe Nice again.
Shoe Nice is a fucking lunatic. In other news, so apparently Shoe Nice has like 20 different accounts, and he switches between them. Shoe Nice loves Hila and wishes she would forgive him. If you guys don't know, he had called you a Jewish whore or something, something sweet like that. Shoe Nice, believe it. Exclamation. I believe Ethan is willing to forgive. Shoe Nice deleted videos. To see Shoe Nice would be legendary. The real Shoe Nice deleted videos. Wish upon a star, bro. Shoe Nice. The mental sad man. Never duplicated. Give this a thumbs up, everyone. Shoe Nice exposed. I will come to Cali, bro. Let me know. This, are you fucking
How
mind
long
blown
did
yet?
this take him to do? Because, like...
Are you mind blown yet?
Brought him up for a whole about 6 minutes. Talked about how he has 50 different YouTube accounts and he basically likes his own comment and comments on his comments and like makes it so that he rises to the top. Basically calling him out for acting like a insane person.
I emailed him and this fucking psycho that spent 5 hours replying 100 times, I can't get a hold of him. I have no way of getting a hold of him.
Even that one, I don't really care. Because, you know, it's kind of an interesting tidbit, a weird thing that Shoe Nice did. It's the next one that really kind of gets me.
Today we've got a special presentation put together of Know Your Meme featuring the one and only Shoe Nice. We've got a caller on the line here. Let's get started.
Okay, so on the next podcast, he has a 20-minute segment about, get this, him quizzing one of his viewers about how fucked up Shoe Nice is. putting his mental illness on fucking full blast.
Joe, you're on the air. Welcome to Know Your Name. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Even better now I'm talking to my favorite couple on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, Joe. You're too kind, too kind. Do you know Shoe Nice? Are you ready to win a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus?
And you can say it's all in good fun, you know, there's no negative intention, but I know in my head, I know that Ethan gets some sick pleasure from putting him on blast like that.
So you said he chained himself and he shit himself in a diaper and fasted for 4 to 5 days. Did he achieve success in his hunger strike?
No, I think he was actually forcibly removed at some point, but we did not have Fountain Day that year. So
that story definitely lines up with the Shoe Nice we all know and love. So I have no problem stretching my imagination to believe that.
For better or for worse.
But like any spoiled child, he does not know when to quit.
That just shows what a decent, kind-hearted man you are. Now I remind you, the objective is to get into the shoe itself.
I gotta get more depraved.
Hila said to him, slam some more toilet paper to clean the shit that's been coming out of your mouth. What provoked this from Hila?
He called you Israeli whore, and I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
Well, Joe, you are entering the mind of shoe, and I like to see that. You've dropped all rationale, all reason.
Totally fucking bonkers is what it is.
50 channels.
Imagine having that much free time. So this is what we're dealing with here, folks. How many times has Shoe Nice ever had alcohol poisoning?
So let's just enter Ethan's mind right now, okay? Shoe Nice, over a year ago, made a 60-second video where he basically bashes you and your wife to his audience of, let's say, max 3,000 people. Because, well, Shoe Nice's channel, the one that he got popular on, got taken down by YouTube. I wonder why. A big surprise. So now, after having all that progress reset, he's basically at square one. And so he has he has no audience, really. He has some sick people who enjoy watching a man fall into fucking misery. And Ethan, being one of those people, decides to take this clip and fucking put it on blast to over 1 million people.
He's such a weirdo. He erases all the footage on his old videos all the time. And then he makes a channel called Shoe Nice Deleted Videos. So he erases it on one channel, re-uploads it on another, and it's just, he's just on another level.
So because Shoe Nice made a video bashing your wife, you feel that you have a moral authority to put him on blast in front of millions of people. On a podcast where you're making 20K. And Shoe Nice is making nothing. And just when you think it couldn't go any deeper, you find out that Ethan is actually entertaining the idea of taking the bullying further.
You know what? If we're talking about Whack Pack, Howard Stern Whack Pack that we want to build of our own, Shoe Nice is like the Beetlejuice. Shoe Nice, I'm telling you, this guy is a legend. I think he is going to be the first official member of the Goof Troop.
He claims he wants to take a group of disenfranchised YouTubers, people who are desperate for attention, and basically kick them around.
I want you to be part of this show, Shoe Nice. I think you have what it takes to be the first official member of the H3 Goof Gang.
Well, basically, this video is to accept Ethan and Hila's invitation to be the first official member of the Goof Gang that they're forming. That's right, I'm probably going to be an employee of H3H3.
But separate of the idea, you're still being cruel. Because I know, Ethan, that you have no intention of working with Shoe Nice. None at all. You said it yourself.
I don't want him in this office, not only because I'm afraid he's going to try to kill somebody, but I also don't trust him with the address. I think he would post it on Twitter immediately.
So thank you, Ethan, for putting an alcoholic on blast, sending him on an emotional roller coaster. You're doing the Lord's work, man. Papa bless. Yeah. But even all of that would be forgivable if you weren't such a fucking hypocrite.
Hey everyone, Shoe Nice again. Well, basically everybody's going back and forth asking me if I'm going to be on Ethan's Goof Gang. Yeah, I kind of misunderstood what Ethan was saying on his podcast when he said, we need you here. You're just an epic goofy guy. But if I'm going to just work through Skype or whatever, or group chat, that's fine. I'm the first honorary and official member of the Fupa Troopas. Yeah.
Hey everyone, Shoe Nice again. Either way, for the fourth time, Ethan, my buddy from H3H3, has given me a shout out. He's called me the moral center of YouTube, a legend. Ethan and Hila from H3 Podcast. I would love to be interviewed by you guys. I know we had some arguments back in the day. That was totally my fault. Just drunk and just trolling.
Shoe Nice, me and Hila would just like to offer you a public apology. Yeah, we were trolling you again. We just wanted to bust your balls like you bust other people's balls, and there's no goof gang guy. We just want you to, not wait for us to call or email you. We appreciate you not bothering us this time. You're just easy to get, bro. You know what I mean?
We're not fucking assholes, because it's just mean. He doesn't deserve to be made fun of. And I mean, if you look at Leafy's channel, all he does is make fun of kids and like vulnerable people. There's no sport in making fun of these people. It's just sad. Sending like millions of like kids to just harass these people. And honestly, it is kind of just turned into bullying. I know we make fun of people, but we do our best to make sure that it's somebody who deserves it. We'd never find someone with 10 views and be like, hey, fuck this kid for trying to follow his passions and live his hobby. Here's making fun of a Joey's World Tour who's obviously has an eating disorder. Like, what the fuck, man? Can you just find like someone to pick on your own size? Like, I mean, seriously, dude. At this point, it's literally just bullying. The guy needs help, support, not fucking ridicule by 1,000 raging kids on the internet. Thought we were a little more delicate than that. And I just would like to see that same delicacy across the board, because this is not the community that, I think most of us want to be a part of. So I just want to say for the record that we are hypocrites.
We are hypocrites.
It all comes full circle eventually. And Ethan Klein, your time is up. To conclude, I'd like to share something my father once told me. I'd just gotten the shit kicked out of me for bullying my brother. And he said to me, if you're gonna dish it out, you'd better be ready to take it.